Welcome to the show, Bree Tomasel. How are you this evening?
Good, mate. How are you going?
Good, good, good. For those who don't know you, I've got a massive list here. You should be super proud of yourself. ZM Drive Show host, Celebrity Treasure Island New Zealand host. You got this host. You've appeared on 7 days. Have you been paying attention? You're the author of your own book, Unapologetically Myself. 2022 New Zealand Personality of the Year, TV New Zealand Personality of the Year. Most recently, you're on Taskmaster New Zealand, but I think most importantly, you're an avid rugby league fan.
That's at the top of the list, Mike.
Right at
At
the
the very
top.
tippity top. Rugby league fan through and through. My blood bleeds rugby league, or as the great Ray Warren once said, rugby league,
How good's rugby league?
rugby league.
Or
I mean, bring him
AKA,
back. Bring him back. Do you miss him? I miss him
oh,
so much.
absolutely, absolutely. Or some may know you as the Hairy Hawk on a Tuesday afternoon.
That's a true fan right there. Harry Hawks, where you at?
I mentioned Taskmaster in that. I noticed it was the tiniest detail. One of
Yes.
your prize tasks, you were filming with your mum. It was the portable bidet. I knew from the second you were a rugby league fan, because you look in the background, your mum's watching NRL 360, I believe.
Absolutely, mate. We've got it on 24/7 during the season. We're watching the highlights, we're watching replays, we're deep into the rugby league season, and my parents are no different. I mean, I get it obviously from somewhere. And I grew up living and breathing rugby league. We're a rugby league household. That's what my biggest core memories as a child are: watching the State of Origin, watching rugby league with my grandparents and all of us. That's what I love about it. It has so many great memories attached to it, and that's what it's all about. It brings people together. And even to this day, like in my life, we love the rugby league season because it gives you a reason to catch up with friends, watch the game, like just be there to experience, greatness, really.
Absolutely. Have you always been like a Broncos supporter? Who is your team back home? Now you're back in New Zealand, do you go towards the Warriors more? Where are you sitting for your team?
It's a great question, and I get asked this question every now and then. I grew up watching the Broncos. My family, Bronx Nation through and through. And that was always my team. I worked quite a bit at Suncorp Stadium in my early days of radio. I worked at a radio station called Nova 106.9, and we had quite a big partnership with them. So I'd work at a lot of the games, and it was the best part of my job because we got to go to the games for free a lot of the time, even though we were working. But the Broncos were a huge part of my childhood and still a huge part of our family. But I will admit, and I have to say, like, since living in New Zealand, I've been here, nearly 8 years now. The Warriors have become a part of my heart, and they are my team. They're my number one. The Broncos are right there underneath at number two. It was very, very difficult back in 2023 when the Broncos and the Warriors met in the finals. And don't tell my family this, Mike. Don't tell them. But who was I going for? I had to back the Wars in for the
You
win.
had to.
They've never won a premiership, and that's what in my heart, I knew. I was like, I want to see the Warriors go through.
Absolutely. And I think it was a heartbreak through the entire country when we lost that game. And you would have felt it too. But then you also had that high of the Broncos winning. So it was like
It was
a
It's
roller coaster for
awful.
you.
It was a weird situation to be in. It was like bittersweet, because the real ideal for me would have been the Warriors to go through, and I still would have been sad because obviously the Broncos would have been out. And then of course the Broncos went on to play the Panthers in the final. And I don't want to talk about that game. I don't want to talk about that game. But we all know what happened, obviously.
Mhm. You've been in New Zealand now for 8 years, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you notice a culture difference between the rugby league fans here and back home in Australia?
Yeah, I that's such a good question. I think when I first moved to New Zealand, right, obviously this country is all blacks, like through and through to their core. That's what this country has been built on, is that team. And I think it's been so interesting for me because obviously I'm a Queenslander. I grew up in Queensland where rugby league is everything, and the fans are amazing. And rugby league, I've always felt like, and I mean, don't go telling this to rugby union fans, but I've always just loved rugby league so much, and I've never been a huge fan of rugby union. Because I just think the game rugby league is more exciting to watch, and that's probably because I grew up watching it. But over the last like 8 years that I've lived in New Zealand, I feel like there's been quite a big shift in the way people have gotten on board the Warriors, especially in the last like 4 years. And there's been a real shift where I feel like the country is super, super into rugby league at the moment. But I feel like that's kind of happening around the world, and New Zealand is kind of, yeah, has gone with that wave of, rugby league's hot right now. And I feel like, yeah, the Warriors have been up there, and people have been, really behind the boys. And I mean, look at the crowds they're getting at the games. They sell out. You can't get a ticket. You need to plan in advance. So
Weeks
I feel
in
like,
advance.
yeah, and like even like up the road from me, the full time bar, which is the Warriors bar, which came about a couple of years ago. Like you can't get a seat there
Yeah.
for a Warriors game. You need to book in weeks in advance as well.
It's like when Warriors played Brisbane, actually, we sold out the away end like a month before the game. Like
Yeah,
that's how crazy Warriors fans are here
it's
and back
wild.
in Australia as well.
Yeah, and even have you noticed? Like, I think it was quite funny. I was watching a Warriors Titans game. This was this season, and I remember I was watching it on TV. And when you were watching the game, like, oh, it was on the Gold Coast. The game was being played on the Gold Coast, and when there was like shots of the crowd, you'd almost second guess whether the game was in New Zealand or the Gold Coast because of how many Warriors fans were there and how many Warriors jerseys.
Yeah, and then the crowd was so loud as well for the Warriors team. Like it honestly sounded like a home game for the Warriors.
Yeah, wasn't it wild? Like crazy. And it just goes to show like how big that fan base I think has gotten and over the last however many years. And for me, like being a massive rugby league fan from when I was a kid, like it's really cool. Like and it's awesome to see.
When you were a kid, you've played a lot of sports. Did you ever
Yeah.
play rugby league?
Never played rugby league. There wasn't a big, like, I mean, for me, like when I was young, even I remember when my mum said to me, I think it's 5 or 6 when you can kind of start playing sport on a Saturday, because I grew up in a rural town. And my sister, who's older, was playing netball, and like all the girls were playing netball. And I remember I said to mum, I was like, I don't want to play netball. I want to play soccer. That's what I want to play. But there was no girls even playing soccer at that time. And I think, yeah, when I started, I was the only girl in our team. And I think there was
Yeah.
maybe one other girl in the whole comp that was playing. So like rugby league, I feel like is that next step up, which I do know there is a girls rugby league comp in the town where I grew up now, but never when I was a kid.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
What
And
could
it's
have
so
been?
cool. It's so cool to see the growth of women's rugby league as well over the last 5 years. It's just blown up.
Mate, the NRLW, I've watched the Warriors. I've followed the girls throughout the season. They've been amazing. There's some good signings for them next year. They've stolen a lot of players from the Broncos who won the Premier. So that's been really cool. Michaela Blyde, like signing her on, that was exciting to see. And it just goes to show, I feel like, because she was such a force for, rugby union and the Black Ferns. And I think her coming over to the Warriors to play rugby league was like quite a cool sign to show that that game has developed so much. And that NRLW grand final was just as good as the men's. Like if you watched it was
That's
unbelievable.
electric. Yeah.
Electric, yeah, and it was crazy, but so cool to see. Like even the women's state of origin used to only be 2 games. It's now developed into a 3-game series, the same as the men, and it's a great watch. Like it really is.
They're putting good numbers in the arenas as well. Like it's incredible to see the rise.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's so cool to see for the development of the game. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
You had the opportunity to go to Sydney this year for the grand final.
For sure.
How was that, and how did it feel seeing your team, the Broncos, beat the Storm?
It's what you dream about as a spectator, like to be in a stadium when a game like that happens. It's what you dream about. It's what every NRL fan wants, even if your team isn't in the grand final, to have a game like that on display. It's such a fantastic grand final. I could not fault it. It had everything in it. And to be there to see the Broncos win for the first time in 19 years, I mean, pinched me. The only thing that would be the cherry on top is if we're there and the Wars do it next season. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, absolutely.
Yeah.
How, because it's such a roller coaster of a game, and I guess it's an away game for both teams. How did it feel in the stadium? Did you feel it swinging either way? Did you feel it going one way? How did it feel in there?
I read an interesting stat, Mike, somewhere where they were talking about how they reckon 15% of the crowd were Melbourne Storm fans in Sydney at the grand final, and 30 to 35% were Broncos fans. And being there in the stadium, it felt like that. You felt like the Broncos fans, I think, definitely turned up more, and there was more of them there. But then I also felt like there was quite a lot of Warriors fans there, which was. But yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like there's certain fans that will just travel, and I think obviously the Broncos, because they haven't won a premiership in 19 years, I feel like it kind of pushes fans to spend the money.
Make the travel as well.
Yeah, and to travel. So I feel like that obviously worked in their favour as well. But there was a lot of Melbourne Storm fans there as well. But yeah, it was an incredible crowd. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. You were talking about Save Our Origin earlier. How excited are you for the potential for, I think it's 2027 in Auckland, they have game 2?
When I heard about this, I can't explain to you how excited. Like, one, we would actually get to watch the game at a normal time. Which would
none
be
of this
great.
10 past 10 craziness.
Exactly. But I reckon it'll sell it out
instantly.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Like that Eden Park will be sold out, and it'll be incredible. I live down the road from Eden Park, and for me, like, how special that is as an Aussie who's lived in New Zealand for a long time to have that in my backyard. I mean, sign me up. Say less.
Do you get down to many of the Warriors games?
Yes, I try and go to quite a few. To be honest, though, I am a sucker. I am one of those big rugby league nerds where I do love to hear the commentary. I feel like there's a certain amount of games that I always want to go to, and you be there in the crowd and it's electric. But I also do just love watching it at home, and you can see everything. You've got the replays, you've got the commentary. So I do really love that part of the game. So I try and get to quite a few. Probably not as many as some people, but
you're not down there with the AirPods in, bit of commentary in the AirPods.
No, not me.
What's been? You spoke earlier about the memories of rugby league. Do you have a memory that stands out to you with your family or at a stadium or at a game?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many, so many. One of the biggest memories for me would be, I reckon I wouldn't have been any more than 7 or 8. And it was a typical like state of origin decider. New South Wales have won one, Queensland have won one. They meet in game 3. This is it, everything's on the line. And in typical Queensland fashion, in the dying seconds, the dying minutes, there was a runaway try. And I can't remember exactly who. I feel like it was Dane Carlaw. Anyway, Queensland score in the dying seconds to win the series.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I was sitting next to my dad, and my dad picks me up and shakes me like violently because he was that excited. And I remember, like, in that moment, I was just kind of like, for me, like as a kid, when you experience stuff like that, where you see like your parents that excited and that passionate about something, like that was it for me. Like I was hooked forever,
Yeah, so there'll be my daughter growing up. Every Warriors game, I have my brother-in-law come over, and
Yes.
we're out of our chairs, we're screaming, and she always like wanders out. What's going on, Dad? And that will be just engraved in her memory every single
Core memory.
Saturday. Yeah, core
100%.
memory.
100%, forever and ever.
Rugby league, there's always a song that associates rugby league. What song do you put rugby league with? For me, it's Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
The Melbourne Storm song.
Yes, there's a beautiful state of origin, like hype video with that song behind, and that always just gets me every single time.
Oh, isn't it? Yeah, I'm getting goosies now. Where they play the opening package, where they're like, Gus Gould comes out and he's given his spiel. This is where warriors are made, and men will clash in what will be the greatest sporting display you've ever seen. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just, I'm getting goosies now thinking about it. It gets you so amped for the game. I mean, I can't go past Simply the Best, Tina Turner. Every time I hear it, I'm like, this is rugby league to a T.
A runner-up for me is it's a new one, Backbone by Chasing Status. So we were at what was it? The Warriors. No, it was a Kiwis Australia game in Christchurch.
Right.
And they ran out to Backbone, and the crowd was electric for it. It was incredible.
Went off. Yeah, see, and isn't that cool that you continue to make memories like that watching this game?
Yeah.
And I think like you've hit the nail on the head, especially like when you're there in the stadium and you feel that energy. There's just nothing like it.
I had my stag do at the Warriors Knights game here in Christchurch, and I remember just having all my boys around me. It was the Anzac test as well, so it was just it was incredible. It
doesn't get
core memories.
Hell yeah, it is. Forever and ever.
No, thank you very much for joining me. It's been a great pleasure to chat. Something you're obviously so passionate about in rugby league.
Oh, mate, it's my absolute pleasure, and it's so nice to talk to a fellow rugby leagueian about the sport that we love. And God, next season, it's our year, mate. It is our year.
It's our year. Up the wires.
It's our year. It's got to be up the wires.